me, or does my chair look like it's tilting? Well, I'd explain this. Tell no one. Right, you guessed it. Another episode. Story time. So, I gotta clean all that up. Let's see. I've got to stop doing that. So, I'm gonna tell you a different story. Not about Best Buy. This is gonna be a little bit different, okay? Just bear with me. I use this light too, just in case, whatever. Also forgot it was on. It's hot. So, those of you who don't know, I am a caregiver. I used to work at Best Buy, the store I never mention the name of because it can't be rude, right? So, I used to work at Best Buy, and then, I hated retail. So, I was looking for anyhow, and I didn't know what there was available, and I was kind of like in a crossroads between you either stick with Best Buy or you go into McDonald's or food service. And I'm not ready for that. So I had a few options. One of them was a professional painter. Another one was a professional mime. And then another one was a balloon salesman. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go with caregiver option. Option number 11. I'm not going to tell you what the other ones were because they're absurd. The other ones were definitely more realistic. Anyway, so I picked caregiver, but okay, I didn't pick caregiver. Let's be realistic here. I ended up as a caregiver, but I don't regret it. I actually like the job. My shiny forehead. My good side. I had a family member fall, fracture hip, was really bad. So what we ended up doing was we're like, well, she was living on her own, but now she's got to live with family because we have to take care of her. She needs 24/7 care. And I was like, what are we supposed to do? I work in retail. And we talked to a medical guy, a case manager. For those of you who are caregivers, you know what I'm talking about. Right now, I'm too tired to care about what words I'm using. Anything that comes out of my mouth, you get it. So he tells us that, he asks, do you guys working full-time? And I go, well, not full-time, but I am working part-time. And he thinks I'm stupid for using an accent, but I didn't do that. He asked me, what am I doing? And I said, well, I'm in retail, but I'm looking for a way out. Please. So I always hear a sound, but it could be my own voice. So I was talking to a guy about caregiving, and he said, well, the state will pay you to take care of this person. And I'm like, come again? And he says, no, seriously, we have a program, IP1, individual provider. You become that, you take some training, and then you're a caregiver. And I was like, well, okay, let's do it. So I took this online training course, about 5 hours worth, and then the day that we brought her home, I was taking care of her, like right then. Now, I didn't have any tools. I had never taken care of someone before, so I was basically just kind of doing what seemed like common sense. Move the oxygen tank from here to there, bend the tube to cut off the oxygen. I'm just kidding. And, don't use an infected needle. Only use it if it's been used a couple times. Just, 3 times, that's just gross. That's also a joke. And so I didn't have, any of the tools or anything you should have to be a nurse, but at the same time, I'm not trying to be a nurse. I'm just trying to take care of someone, right? So we bring her home. We had to get her upstairs. If you live in an upstairs apartment, find the different apartment on one level, because we had to get a friend of mine who's like a bodybuilder And this guy is like really strong with upper body strength, and we would not have been able to do it without him. Well, we probably could have, but it was definitely easier with him. He literally picked up the chair that they were in, and we picked up the other end of the chair, and then we brought it up, and we brought it down. It was like, all right, teamwork, woo! So that worked. Make what you got, do the thing that work now. The thing it make it do. So there was a very sweet moment that came in. Phrases, sentences, structure. Slow down. They came in. It was like the inaugural walk. That's a very big word. And they loved it. But they had actually never been here. They'd always live in some other apartment that was down the street, which made it easy for us to go visit them. And they couldn't drive or anything like that, so we brought them home, like a lost puppy. And then I just took over. It was a lot easier than the past 7 years of helping them out because mi padre was taking care of them for the 7 years, and I'm working in retail, and he has a full-time job on that. And I have these other goals that I'm trying to accomplish, not getting too into them because they're personal. I'm just kidding. They're just goals. Anyway, I wanted to do more, right? Dad's taking care of someone for 7 years, and I'm like, what the heck am I doing, right? So I'm going to split this video up into probably 2 parts, and if you're not like enthralled right now, you don't have to watch the second half. I just want to, there's a little bit more to go into that's going to take more than 7 minutes, so sorry. Deal with it. So long story short, she comes home, we're taking care of her. I got a team of people, my dad, my relative, cousin, and then my mi abuela taking care of her. And it's been about 3 months so far, and it's been working out really well. But that's how I got out of retail. It was like given to me, just this it's an unfortunate thing because you know, it's an injury that brought us into this situation, and it's really starting to wear on everyone, but we're doing really good for the situation we've been handed. So yay, the power of family. And yeah, here I am. So I'm out of retail. Where was I going with any of this? Well, let's jump into another story, and I'll probably look at this video again and be like, wow, there was a lot more to go with that. But basically, I'm a caregiver, and I'm working towards being an HCA, which is a home care assistant, home care aide. What's the book say? Basic skills. That's not the title. I'm taking the training course. It's a very intense course. Got through it, and I got to take the final exam, so that's boring information for you. So we're not even going to get into it. But I wanted to talk about something other than my retail experience. If you like those, let me know, and I'll continue them. I plan on doing it anyway because there's plenty to go through. I mean, I was there a year and a half. You can imagine what every day was like. So there's always something new, something exciting. My sister loved it when I brought home new stories. So I was, let's see, I've got like 15 different things in my head. Let's narrow it down to the first 2 that popped up. I was 9 years old. No. A few months ago, when I was getting used to being a caregiver, there's a few interesting things that you learn as a caregiver. One of them is you make a lot of mistakes before you get into your training. They teach you everything you did wrong. Fortunately, it wasn't with like a client that could fire you right off the bat. Technically, she could have, but she loves me. And I'm like literally her only grandson left. I mean, kind of, sort of. Gosh, it's a big mess. But I learned a lot the hard way and the easy way. I mean, there was ups and downs, tidal wave. I forgot how that goes. And you actually get a much bigger appreciation for the person because you're really learning about their situation and what they're going through. And like I said, there's a lot of ups and downs with it, not just like the job itself, but the person. You're learning a lot about the person and what they're dealing with. And there was a lot of emotion, involved in it. And there's a lot of empathy. If you don't have empathy, then it's not really something you can learn. But if you don't have empathy, don't try so hard to get into a field that really requires it. If you have a good level of sympathy, or at least know how to do your job well and just be, a good listener, that's good too, then, really consider it. Empathy is a key to being successful in this job, and that's successful as in, being able to... Children screaming. There's a level of empathy that's really necessary, and not everyone has that. That's kind of a difficult thing to do. I was born and raised in a family who's very empathetic. We're all about hugs and love and justice. And so that sort of thing just came easy to me. I need to stop saying However, if empathy is something that you want to have, you know what? That's just kind of what happens when you pause. I think that's what a comma actually is. It's like you go through a sentence and you're like, ensure the consumer is properly aligned. Washcloth, towel, take out the dentures, whatever. Not to read here. There's a level of emotion and empathy and sympathy that's really necessary for this kind of a job. So if you don't have it, you need to learn how to get it. Even if you just know how to do the job well, that's great. But if you can't, be there for them, or not so much be there for them, because they don't want you to get attached. That's really difficult for me. But they don't want you to get attached. They just want you to be able to listen. Yep, gotcha, I totally understand. Don't lie, obviously. If you don't understand, just be like, and if they say, can I just sit down and talk with you for a minute? There's a lot of people who, a lot of caregivers who really go by the book and just sorry, that's not to the care plan. And it's that's not right. No. You're taking care of a human being. And if you're going to do that, the way I do it is, I'm not perfect. I am definitely not a professional. Still haven't taken the exam. And there's a lot involved in taking care of a human being. It's not taking care of a person, it's taking care of a human being. And that's a big deal. But it's very rewarding. It's very rewarding. And if you can at least learn to listen, that's a big step. That's a big deal. So stop it. There's a lot more that goes into it, but I'm not going to go any further into it. I will talk to you guys in the next video. I do have a pretty interesting topic, so I will fill you in on that later. I hope you enjoyed enduring this as much as I did, barely getting through it. If you like the video, put a like on it, high five your monitor, and if you break it, it's not my fault. That was your decision. I'll talk to you guys later.